Good morning, class 9C. So, today we will just continue the chapter Poverty as Challenge. We are left with the last topic, that is anti poverty measures. Okay, so we will see this topic through this video. Now, in this topic, we have to find out the different ways which will help us to remove the poverty. The most important measure is promotion of economic growth. If economic growth will increase of a particular country, then this is going to reduce the poverty. Okay, the second way of removing poverty is to run anti poverty programs. Anti poverty program. So, in this topic, we will discuss about the different ways to increase economic growth and what are the different anti-poverty program which will help removing poverty. Okay, so let's start. Removal of poverty has been one of the major objectives of Indian development strategy. The current anti-poverty strategy of the government is based broadly on two planks, that is promotion of economic growth, second targeted anti-poverty program. Over a period of 30 years lasting up to the early 80s, there were little per capita income growth and not much reduction in poverty. Like it till the 1980, it was found that the per capita income growth uh, was less, and that's why the reduction in poverty was not observed. Official poverty estimate, which were about 45% in the early 1950, remained in the same in the early 80s. So the condition remained same till early 80s. Since the 80s, India's economic growth has been one of the fastest in the world. The growth rate jumped from the average of about 3.5% a year in the 1970 to about 6% during 1980 and 1990s. So it was observed that the growth rate had increased from 3.5 in the year 1970 to 6% in the year 1980 as well as 1990. The higher growth rate have developed significantly in the reduction of poverty. So by 1990 it was realized that the increased in economic growth or the growth rate had helped in reducing poverty. Therefore, it was clear that there is a strong link between the economic growth and poverty reduction. So if suppose question is asked that what are the different ways to remove poverty, so you can write that economic growth, increase in economic growth helps in reduction of poverty. Okay, now economic growth widens opportunities and provides the resources needed to invest in human development. Now what happens if suppose economic growth increases? Okay, then it increases the uh, like opportunities, job opportunities for the people. Okay, and this encourages people to send their children, including girl child, to schools. As you know, in our country mainly boys are sent to the school. Okay, but if the economic growth will be good, so girls will also get the chance to go to school, in the hope that getting better economic returns from investing in education. We all know importance of education. If we invest in education, it gives good return. In previous chapter also we had discussed about that when we like focus on resources, people as resource, like human resource, then we'd always get good returns. Like when your parents are sending you to the school, giving you better education, then what happens? You get, in return, you bring like more economic growth. However, the poor may not be able to take direct advantage from the opportunity created by economic growth. Moreover, growth in the agriculture sector is much below expectation. This has a direct bearing on poverty, as a large number of poor people live in villages and are dependent on agriculture. Okay, so like this has been observed that in agriculture sector, like there is no improvement in the poverty level, because we have more people who are depending on this sector, so it will take some time. In these circumstances, there is clear need for targeted anti poverty program. Now we will be discussing the second strategy which will improve the poverty, that is the introduction of anti poverty program. Okay, although there are so many schemes which are formulated to affect poverty directly or indirectly, some of them are worth mentioning. And you might have heard about Manrega. Full form is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee. Now, this was started in 2005 and whose aim is to provide 100 days wage, 100 days of wage employment to every household to ensure livelihood security in rural areas. So, this is mainly for the rural areas. At least people should get the salary for 100 days of work. Okay, so this ensures that all will get the employment. It also aimed at sustainable development to address the cause of drought, deforestation, and soil erosion. That means it also focus on the like proper management, so that if suppose the farmer they come across with the situation like drought or deforestation is taking place, or soil is like in some area the soil is not productive, so like they will not face the poverty. One third of the proposed jobs have been reserved for women. Okay, so that women will also get chance to come forward and observe equality with men. The scheme provided employment to 220 crores person days of employment to 4.78 crore households. The share of SC, ST, women person days in the scheme are 23%. Okay, 23% for SC, 17% for ST, that is scheduled tribe, 53% for women. The average wage has increased from 65 in 2006-7 to 132 in 2013-14. Now, second scheme, that is Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, that is PMRY. This is another scheme which was started in 1993, and the aim of the program is to create self employment opportunities for educated unemployed youth in rural areas as well as in small towns. And by this scheme, that people were helped in getting the job opportunities in the rural areas. Now let us discuss the next scheme, that is Rural Employment Generation Program, that is REGP, which was launched in 1995. And the aim of the program is to create self-employment opportunities in rural areas as well as in small town. A target for creating 25 lakh new jobs has been set for the program under the 10th 5-year plan. Okay, so like the third one, this is the third strategy for like which comes under anti poverty program, that is Rural Employment Generation Program. This is also mainly launched for the people of rural areas so that they can get employment or job opportunities in the small town as well as rural areas. Now let's start the next one, that is Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, that is SGSY, which was launched in 1999. The program aims at bringing the assisted poor families above the poverty line. So the families which were the part of the poverty line, like with the help of this program, they can be kept above the poverty line. Okay, and in this, the self-help groups have been organized through the loans provided by the bank. Now, under the Pradhan Mantri uh, Gram Uday Yojana, that is PMGY, launched in 2000, additional central assistance is given to states for basic services such as primary health, primary education, rural shelter, rural drinking water, and rural electrification. Now, let's move on to the another program, that is Antyodaya Anna Yojana, that is AAY. And about this program we will be studying in the next chapter, so you just remember the name of this program. The results of these programs have been mixed. Okay, like we have read about almost 5 programs. We started with Manrega, then Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, then Rural Employment Generation Program, Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Gramoday Yojana, and Antyodaya Anna Yojana. So you can remember the name of all these programs, and the ultimate aim of these programs was that to remove the unemployment, especially in the rural areas. Okay, so let's talk about the result of these programs, which was found to be mixed. Reason, like these programs were found to be less effective. Okay, because of improper implementation and right targeting. Moreover, there has been a lot of overlapping of scheme, like one scheme wasn't clear to the people, then the second scheme was started. So like it was observed that these programs were overlapping. Despite good intentions were there with these programs, the benefits of these schemes are not fully reached to the deserving poor. Okay, we all know that in our country most of the time, like misuse happens, and the real or the actual people, they don't get the benefit. So this is the reason that we haven't seen the good results out of these programs. Okay, therefore what we need to emphasize on the monitoring of all the poverty alleviation program, so that we can improve the condition. Now let's start with the challenges which we have to see in future. Poverty has certainly declined in India. It has been observed that in India the poverty has declined. But despite the progress, poverty reduction remains India's most compelling challenge. Till now, we are observing the poverty. Wide disparities in poverty are visible between rural and urban areas. We have seen the previous data also, like the in rural area the poverty is observed more, and in urban area it is less. So in different states also the poverty disparity has been observed. Now just come to page 40. Among different states also we have observed disparities. Certain social and economic groups are more vulnerable to poverty. Poverty reduction is expected to make better progress in the next 10 or 15 years. Like it has been estimated, like if the poverty line will be finished, or the people who are from the poor section, if they get proper jobs or economic growth happens in our country, then surely we will be the developed country among the developed countries. This would be possible mainly due to higher economic growth and increasing stress on universal free elementary education. This is very, very important. And yes, definitely we have to focus on population. We have to definitely bring down the population growth, then only poverty can be improved. Another thing which is very, very important, that is increasing empowerment of the women, that the level of the women should be uplifted. The official definition of poverty, however, captures only a limited part of what poverty really means to people. It is about a minimum subsistence level of living rather than a reasonable level of living. Many scholars advocate that we must broaden the concept into human poverty. A large number of people may have been able to feed themselves, but do they have education or shelter or healthcare or job security or self confidence? So, all these things we have to find the answer. Is the practice of child labor still common? We have to see this also, because all these things we observe in our country. Worldwide experience show that with development, the definition of what constitute poverty also changes. Eradication of poverty is always a moving target. Hopefully, we will be able to provide the minimum necessary in terms of only income to all the people by the end of the next decade. But the target will move on for many of the bigger challenges that will remain, providing health care, education, job security for all, and achieving gender equality and dignity of the poor. These will be even bigger tasks. So, like, we have to see all these things, then only we can say that poverty is eradicated. So, this finishes the chapter. The answers of the questions I will be sending you. Thank you.